I want to share with you this amazing information. It's called neuroplasticity. And let me just tell you what it means. Neuro means brain. Plasticity means moldable or adaptable. Simply put, neuroplasticity means that you can learn. But let me share with you how the brain learns. And this is for all of us, assuming that our brains are functioning properly, all right? How the brain learns is there is a pattern of behavior or emotions or thoughts or body activity. And when you exercise it more frequently, it technically changes the structure and the functioning of your brain. So think about it like if you're at the gym and you're exercising your right bicep. Okay, if you keep exercising your right bicep, it's going to get bigger. It's going to keep growing. And the other side, if you're not exercising that side, it stays the way it is. This is the same when it comes to your brain. When you repeat something over and over and over again, your brain makes those adjustments so that it becomes easier, it becomes more efficient, and then it becomes second nature. All right? So think about it. Like when you learn how to ride a bike, if you learned how to ride a bike, it might be very, very unfamiliar in the beginning. You may have training wheels on it. You may have somebody helping you and pushing you. But the more you do it, the more familiar it becomes and the easier it becomes and the more automated it becomes in your brain. So then you could take off the training wheels, you learn how to ride the bike, you can ride it no problem. All right? Years go by, you don't ride it for a while, but as soon as you go back to riding the bike, you kind of remember how to do it. But it won't take you as much time as it used to when it was brand new because now you're familiar with it. So time, focus, and repetition are how you learn. That's what neuroplasticity is all about. Here's how we learn. Again, when you have a pattern, a network, there's a choreography that's happening behind the scenes in your brain. And you're firing neural activity that makes you do that thing that you are continuing to do faster and easier and more efficient, okay? And your brain is happier when it's giving off the least amount of energy, right? The path of least resistance. It gets comfortable with a way of being and it wants to stay in that. That's part of predictability and comfortability. And the brain wants to be very efficient when it comes to that. So I'm giving you this basic information just so that you understand a couple things. When you want to learn something, at the beginning, it's going to feel unpredictable. It's going to feel uncomfortable, but in time, it becomes more automated. It becomes easier to do. So learning is an uncomfortable thing. It's inherently uncomfortable. So when you are learning something new and you're uncomfortable, you're right on time because learning something new means that you're trying something different. So let me give you an example when it comes to self-friendship, okay? When I was younger and I had manifestations of abuse in my life, I equated that to me not being deserving of good things in life. And that was the only thing that made sense to me. Gee, I had a non-preferred experience of being molested outside of the home that I grew up in. My parents didn't know about it. But I wasn't talking about it. I kept it a secret. And in my young mind, I didn't know why that happened, but I figured it had to be me in some way. It had to be, or else it wouldn't have happened. So in my young, non-developed brain, and you might understand this, in my young, undeveloped brain, I thought there was something I did to create this, and therefore I'm not deserving. Therefore, I'm a bad person. So what I kept understanding is I'm a bad person. I'm a bad person. I'm a bad person. I kept telling myself that over and over and over again until it became entrained. It was a predictable, familiar message that my brain had gotten used to, and it was just my habit. So that went on for a long, long time, for decades. I'm no good, I'm no good, I'm no good. No matter what happened, that was the zip code where I lived. Oh, something didn't go right in life for somebody else. That meant I was no good. I couldn't help them, therefore I'm no good. So you understand how this mechanism works. Time, focus, and repetition help us become neuroplastic to change and to learn. So if we're going to learn better things, if we're going to be a better friend to ourselves, understanding how the brain works and how it maps how we learn will enable you to try something new. But remember that time, focus, and repetition will help you entrain something new and entrain something different, something that may serve you better than the old tapes that are familiar to you. So when you understand how your brain works, maybe this information will help you gain a little bit of compassion, a little bit of understanding, a little bit of empathy, not only towards yourself, but towards other people, because we're all just trying to efficiently run our systems, whatever we're doing. That's how our brain works. So comfortability, predictability, prediction scripts, we're all walking around with them. But if you have the courage to learn this, to understand it, and be willing to do something new, understanding how your brain maps to something, where the neural activity continues firing in a certain way, you can entrain something that is more preferred for yourself than those old tapes that no longer serve you.